Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tells podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're live on a Tuesday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you get podcasts. The official weapon of the show is
the phone jail.
an unofficial sport.
Bullet ball.
A bullet ball extreme. You know how it is. Show notes is everything you can do to leave feedback for the show, and we will discuss it on Saturday when we do our feedback episodes. So make sure you do that. Your emails, your voicemails, all that stuff. Yeah, that's it to start the show. Karen, do you have any banter?
Mm-mm.
I don't either. So I guess we just get into the show. Smooth. All right, let's talk about stuff. I don't know what to start with. Maybe we'll talk about what the fuck? Oh, all my articles went away.
Oh no.
Give me a second, everybody. Okay, well, cool. Fuck it.
All the articles disappeared.
They just decided that they weren't gonna do the thing. They were just like, fuck it, we don't. Okay, there we go.
We're not gonna do what you need us to do today.
It's not working right for some reason. It's supposed to be able to separate this thing, and I can go, oh, these are the articles I saved for this segment. But the page that does that doesn't want to do the thing.
So, they said they all jumbled together or something.
Yeah, I guess I just have to do it.
Click and find out.
Fuck. Now it's all jumbled up. I don't know.
Oh no, that's exactly not you. That's what you don't want.
Lupe Fiasco reignites his feud with Kid Cudi. I've never done anything to him except support. Now it's fuck him for life.
This came out of left field.
Yeah, I don't know what started the beef, if I'm being frank. You know, I haven't really kept up with Lupe since he dropped Lasers. I was like, okay, I guess his run is over.
Yes.
But I have gone and been listening to some albums since then, and I'm not saying he's whack or nothing, but just I like his first couple albums more than that.
I agreed.
But yeah, I know he was on Twitter beefing with Cudi bad. Like he said, Kid Cudi is a bitch and continues to be a bitch. Ain't nobody finna bring up he used to work at the BAP or BAPE, I don't know how to pronounce it because I'm not rich, store to diss his bitch ass for having a regular job before he was a famous bitch with a cool job. In response to a fan expressing the need to hear the complete story of their fallout, Lupe delved into intricate details about the history of their feud. Despite having a friendly relationship for years and considering Cudi a friend, Lupe revealed feeling blindsided in 2014. 2014 is when I guess he was offended, but I didn't know about this till this year. So he waited 10 years.
Yeah, because that's why I'm like, this came out of left field.
Yeah, like waiting 10 years is that's some amazing behavior. I don't know if I got it in me.
I don't. I know I don't. I got too much shit to be doing and to be worrying about some shit that happened 10 years ago. Bitch, you got it. Fuck that. I be done forgot. Shit, I can't remember what I ate yesterday half the time. I'm not gonna remember that.
Right. So he waited to 10 years and said, all right, now it's my turn to finally say what I've been wanting to say.
I'll be like, okay, child, I guess.
Yeah, and I know this had to feel like out of nowhere to Kid Cudi.
Right. We couldn't have talked about it at the time.
So he says he felt blindsided in 2014 when Kid Cudi criticized him for charging fans $500 for a personalized verse. Lupe shared that he attempted to address the issue directly with Cudi but found no resolution. Till this day, this bitch won't get on the phone, and even when we at the same festivals, they won't allow me to go to his stage. He ducks calls, faces to faces. All I wanted was an explanation, at the least, that my bad. because I've never done anything to him except support. Now it's fucking for life and keep my name out of your mouth, bitch. Additionally, when a fan directly addressed Lupe, asserting that Cudi's earlier prediction from his retail clothing days had come true, Lupe quickly disagreed. A beef he started with a nigga who actually looked out for him. Make that make sense. Cudi a bitch. The recent clash between Lupe and Cudi stemmed from a new interview with Apple Music's Zane Lowe. In the interview, Cudi recounted a close encounter with Lupe in 2008 at the Bape store in New York City, where he was employed before his music career soared. Cudi shared that he purposely kept a low profile when famous rappers visited the store, fearing that they might use his retail job against him in a future feud. According to Cudi, that's exactly what happened with Lupe. Now, the good news is, Lupe and Cudi, I believe, squashed the beef. Like Cudi issued like put out an actual apology. They were trying to. It was funny and not funny at the same time. I mean, I don't know these niggas, so it's kind of funny,
right?
But first, Cudi was like, "I DM'd you, da da da," and Lupe was very receptive to it. It seemed, but then Lupe didn't know how to turn on his DM so that anyone could DM him. And so then Lupe was like, "Fuck you, bitch nigga. You ain't send no DM." And then Cudi was sending screenshots like, "Yes, I did. Here it is." Like, this lying ass bitch. And I was like, "Oh my God, it's gonna keep going."
That's how people. He's famous, but he's a prime example of how regular ass people be when they're just determined that they right and you wrong. They don't want to hear logic. They don't want to hear reason. They don't want to hear excuses. Like, no matter what he says to possibly diffuse it, you came to fight, and that's all that mattered. You want to fight.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously he was, he was gonna keep it going. I guess this is
me later and bring up the fact like, nigga, you sold me clothes. So like, I would always like hide in the stock room.
Who did you hide from?
So like, and this is funny. But we're laughing about this, right? Lupe Fiasco came to the store one day. He was in the store. I was in the bag, and they was like, "Yo, Lupe's here." I was like, "Oh shit!" Stayed down the stairs, waited till he left. And I was like, "Yo, what you down here for?" And I explained it to my dude, same way I explained it to you. I was like, "Yo, bro, if I get famous one day, right? I don't ever want this nigga saying like, yo, you sold me clothes, you my son." You know what I'm saying? We can't have that. Like, this was my explanation. And yo, bro, when you think about it, he hates me to this day. He hates me. So it's like I was right. I was on to something. I sensed something in the universe, So this is like my plan at that time. I was like totally hyper aware that something was gonna happen for me. And I was just like, fuck this, I can't have nobody making no diss record. Like, yeah, you rang me up, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Now, it's interesting, too, because it's funny how people had their own version of the story, right? Because in this case, Lupe kind of seems to hate him for no reason, blah, blah, blah. But Cudi was making fun of the fact that he was charging fans for $100 for a customized verse on the social media, basically saying, if you like tell me what to rap about, send me the money and I'll like make you a customized rap for you, which is so interesting because it's kind of ahead of its time.
Yeah.
When you go back and think about it.
Now.
Yeah, it's kind of like some cameo shit or whatever.
Right.
But it's also seen as like beneath a rapper that got a deal to do something like that. But but Lupe basically said, I did this because I love hip hop or whatever. And then, like I said, Cudi was kind of avoiding it on social media and kind of downplaying it until eventually he apologized. Now, when he did apologize, he said, "Just talked to Lupe, had a great talk. I know I was wrong, and I told him I shouldn't have did that fuck shit I did. I called myself looking out for fans in the moment, but in reality, I was just hating." So when he was saying, you ripping your fans off with that $500 thing, he was like, I was just hating. I apologized, and he accepted it. Which I appreciated for real. I understand the anger and vitriol he's had for me all these years, and I wasn't mature enough to step up and just have a conversation and admit I was wrong. We as black men need to be united. He always had love for me, always supported me. I shouldn't have did him like that. I want to thank my guy, IBN, for setting the call up, and you, the fans, for being real with me and urging us to speak. We are good now. Brand new journey at Lupe Fiasco. Prayer hands emoji, heart emoji. See you soon, brother. Prayer hands emoji. And then Lupe says, sincerely appreciated my guy. Peace and blessings. which is a lot considering how Lupe was talking about him all day with them tweets. But I mean, honestly, it's I think it ended in the best way possible. I know, with the internet, people kind of would rather see the beef keep going. People never really want resolution or forgiveness, but I actually thought it was kind of like a dope moment.
Correct. And it may have been one of those things where he was telling the truth. He was like, nigga, all I want is an apology. I get an apology, I'm good. A lot of people say that shit and they don't mean it. They say that shit and there's nothing you can do that's ever enough. Really, they just say that shit so you could continue to apologize to them. Bitch, I'm not going to apologize to you for fucking ever. Either accept my apology or not. And so I think that was the truth. Like he was real with like, you know what? Let's actually talk. All I want is an apology, and then we can both move on. Like we'll be good. And also the thing is, a lot of people have, and everybody has pride, but some people's pride is so strong they can never admit they're wrong. They can never admit that they fucked up. They can never admit that they did something to somebody to cause the other party to be aggrieved. It's always about their grief and their grievances and what everybody did to me. Never me being accountable and or responsible for my actions that do have repercussions and consequences. People do shit, and when it comes to repercussion and consequences, nobody wants to deal with that bullshit. Nobody wants to deal with other people's hurt feelings. Nobody off of their actions. Nobody wants to deal with other people saying you let me down or you fucked up or you did wrong. And everybody's flawed. And nobody's perfect. So part of life is just admitting that sometimes players fuck up. But if you're somebody who will never admit that you're wrong, there's nothing wrong with the world. There's something wrong with you because we all fuck up. And everybody underneath the sound of my voice has done something that somebody has been offended by, has done something that somebody has been aggrieved and or disappointed in your actions. Everybody has, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like we want grace and mercy for us and understanding and compassion and empathy and sympathy for us. But most people do not want to extend that to other people because they only see themselves and they don't consider how their actions impact the world around them.
He also could have taken the easy way out and used the way that Lupe was talking as an excuse for like why he wouldn't apologize, because Lupe was saying some pretty wild, like call him a bitch a bunch of times, threatening to like beat him up and all this shit. So like that, and then misunderstanding his first like DM and being like, you lying bitch or whatever. And I think a lot of people, which I've seen, will go, well, because what I did made you angry and you lashed out in anger, I no longer owe you an apology.
Correct.
I no longer have any responsibility to ask for your forgiveness or whatever. And I can understand in some ways, because a lot of times people like that are not going to forgive. Like,
agreed.
But you can't make that decision for them.
Nope.
Like, but a lot of times people are like, okay, especially when they're acting out in public. Like the Lupe didn't privately call this man or whatever. Now he may have done that over the years, but this is now a public thing. He's making it known to the public. And a lot of times I see people basically go, oh, well, fuck you then. Like, oh, you're not going to play me in front of everybody. Like, yeah, I said what I said or what. And to see, Kid Cudi, do that was kind of cool. And especially with Kid Cudi's image as kind of like supposed to be a more like holistic, positive, three-dimensional rapper, not just say, I'm gonna kill you, I got the gun, da-da-da. Like his music is about mental health and depression and all this shit. And, to see him care about somebody else, I thought was a pretty dope public move.
Yeah, and also sometimes it's hard, and most people don't want to because it requires more of you. You have to be the bigger person sometimes. Not all the times, but sometimes you have to be the bigger person. It's required of you. And some people see that requirement and go, I don't want to meet that requirement. Fuck that. I'm just not going to do it. Cool. well, you have to deal with the consequences of not meeting that requirement. But some people who want to meet that requirement, instead of those people going, well, good for you, that's your choice, people turn around and get mad and lash out at you like you're the problem for actually being the bigger person and wanting to get to the foundation of the peace and have an understanding for the other person. You know, we live in a society that when people fuck up, it's like a scarlet letter, particularly online. Nobody wants to forgive. Nobody wants to forget. Nobody wants to move on. Everybody wants to keep you in this snapshot forever. People don't live like that, and that's very unrealistic. Everybody in the sound of my voice has done something, but you know what? A lot of, particularly if you're of a certain age, most of the shit that you did was fucked up. It's not online. It's not cameras. It's not recorded. Nobody can go back and bring that up. People can talk about it. You know, we live in a generation of you had to be there, but now the world is there. It's not the same.
Yep. So, and then just publicly seeing two black men like squash some shit, especially in this day and age when we've seen rappers like, and hopefully these wouldn't be the type to do it, but we've seen rappers like die like a lot. You know, like the last 5 or so years, like rappers have been killing each other over just dumb shit. This shit that you feel like if they just had the luxury of getting older would look back and go,
yes,
man, that was really fucking stupid. Who cares what I don't own any part of the street, or I don't, you know, okay, this guy doesn't like my music. That doesn't mean someone needs to die. But yeah, to see, you know, especially two Chicago rappers be able to be like, yeah, man, okay, it's all good. And then who knows if they'll, you know, actually be good forever or not.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, but it's to me, it's like a dope start.
And I agree, and actually I appreciate that, you know, because it's also one of those things where we live in a society too where people don't like to admit they got feelings, and people don't like to admit that their feelings be hurt sometimes.
Yeah,
but that's real. Everybody's feelings get hurt every now and then, no matter who you're with or who you interact with, your children, your spouse. You know, somebody has hurt your feelings,
and I don't know,
okay.
Like. And Lupe's been more active on social media the last few days, so maybe he's going through something. Because anytime somebody's heavily on social media saying a bunch of shit that, you know, is kind of better left to like inside, you know, like it's not, because like the social media people, they might be fans of your music, but they don't know or care about you for real. And so anytime I see that, I'm always worried, like, I hope that person's not going through something too much, because you know, the internet feels like help, but a lot of times it's not.
I agreed. You actually need help offline.
Yeah. Now like I said, my app for the articles is not working, so I'm just going through picking out articles kind of randomly.
Let's go.
Kentucky Republican introduced legislation that would amend the state's law so a person who had sex with their first cousin would no longer be criminally liable for incest.
What?
Before withdrawing it and claiming an error was made during the drafting process.
Bitch, no, it wasn't. You meant what you said. The fuck is this? No.
Whoops. You never made an error. You never made a mistake, Karen. You were just talking about we all make mistakes.
I was, but
right.
but I'm gonna say that I don't think this was a mistake.
You think he really was on some cousin fucking?
Yes, he was. Why else would you submit it? People, as many people have to read shit before it gets submitted.
Maybe he meant second cousin.
That's still bad.
House Bill 269, nice, which state's Representative Nick Wilson supported, was introduced January 16th to the House committee on committees. What? Okay, bureaucracy. According to the Kentucky General Assembly website, it would have struck first cousin from the list of familial relationships defined as unlawful incest in the state. In a statement sent to Newsweek, Wilson described this as a mistake and a wider bill intended to extend legal protection against incest, which he'd withdrawn and filed, leaving the first cousin reference in place. And refiled, leaving the first cousin. What? Okay, what am I misunderstanding? It says it was intended to extend legal protection against incest. What does that mean? Legal protection against incest? I don't know, man. I don't understand what he's asking. What he's saying? Is he saying
are you for or against? I don't know.
Yeah, like is he saying legal protection against like being charged with incest, or I don't know.
Not being charged.
Wilson, then 27-year-old public defender, first shot to prominence when he won the 37th season of the CBS reality TV show Survivor in 2018, called Survivor David versus Goliath. Oh my God, we letting reality people just do everything. Didn't Trump teach us enough? Leave the reality TV people at home. We got to stop.
Got to stop.
But yeah, November 2022, he ran unopposed for the 82nd District of Kentucky House after Republican incumbent Regina Huff retired. Kentucky law states that a person is guilty of incest if they engage in sexual relations with a person they know to be his or her parent, child, grandparent, grandchild, great-grandparent, great-grandchild, uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, brother, sister, first cousin, ancestor, or descendant. The initial amendment introduced by Wilson, if passed, would have removed first cousin from this list. Okay, let's check his dating history. Is he dating his first cousin? That's all I want to know. Let's just check the 23andMe. I think we might got a case. Okay. Both the initial and updated version of Wilson's bill would also amend Kentucky's law on parole for violent offenders to include a person who has been convicted of incest by sexual contact within the definition. It would amend their law on parole for violent offenders. Huh.
How would it amend it?
Yeah, they don't say if it would make it easier or harder.
Right.
Because if it make it easier, then I'm like, see, I think this man doing some cest. He's acting cesty. In a statement.
If they married, check the lineage.
Okay. In a statement provided to Newsweek, he described the part in his initial legislation removing first cousins from the illegal incest list as a mistake that has since been rectified. Yeah, he said, I filed HB 269 yesterday. The purpose of the bill is to add sexual contact to the incest statute. Currently, incest only applies in cases of intercourse. So sexual touching and groping by uncles and stepdads or anyone with a familiar relationship is not included in incest. My bill makes that kind of sexual contact a Class D felony unless the victim is under the age of 12. Then it increases the penalty to a Class C felony. During the drafting process, there was an inadvertent change which struck first cousins from the list of relationships included under the incest statute, and I failed to add it back in. During today's session, I will withdraw HB 269 and refile a bill with the first cousin language intact. The fact that I was able to file a bill, catch the mistake, withdraw the bill, and refile within a 24-hour period shows we have a good system. Oh, okay, cool. You were just checking the system out. That makes sense. You just got to check the system, Karen.
As many people read shit before it's submitted. Too many people read that bullshit. It's somebody's whole job just to read the shit that you submit.
Yeah, that's what we like to think. But I would say more than likely it's probably not as complex as we think it is. So what, you think? Like,
no, I'm joking. So they like the people so they like the editors. They got rid of editors. I can just log in and just submit my shit.
I think it just happens all the time. I think we believe in all these checks and balances and shit, and at the end of the day, that's not what's happening.
Okay.
Like, there's all kinds of times people tell you they vote for bills they didn't have a chance to read.
True.
So I don't know. I'm guessing he probably did make some type of mistake. But it's more funny to pick at the mistake he made. And
yes.
Be like, oh, this nigga loves some incest.
Yes. And he Republican too, so I'll be like, right. I don't trust him now.
But if you look at what he's doing, it kind of jives with what Republicans would want, which is because they're always trying to make shit more punitive. Mm-hmm. And so it's more likely that he really was like, yeah, I can find another way to lock people up and stuff. And they really love things involving children, especially sexual things involving kids, because that's the thing where everybody agrees. So if they say like we need to add something more punitive to incest, and then there's examples where like uncles touching kids, everyone's gonna agree. It's the Jim Caviezel, movie shit all over again. It's like everyone's gonna agree that pedophilia is wrong. So these are the bills they pass because they're not gonna pass things that actually like govern.
Right.
So they pass like social stuff, like societal, like, oh, we all hate this, right? But yeah, so I guess the framing of it is more salacious, I think, than the actual like
the law
agreements or whatever.
Yes.
All right, let's see another random fucking article.
Rolodex of articles.
Yeah.
And the winner is
Bill O'Reilly is outraged that the book ban law he supports causes his own books to be banned.
okay. Good. You
Yeah.
only thought that was gonna go one way, sir?
He thought it was just good for the gays and the blacks. He didn't know.
Right. He didn't realize people had an issue with his shit too.
Yeah. So apparently Ron DeSantis and them banned a couple of books in Florida, and they were Bill O'Reilly's books, Killing Reagan and Killing Jesus. They are no longer in school libraries. On Twitter, he said, "A Florida county removes my books, Killing Jesus and Killing Reagan, from school libraries. Preposterous. We are investigating and are seeking comment from Ron DeSantis. This will not stand. Updates on BillO'Reilly.com."
Okay, everybody gonna know you and them shit still gonna be banned.
Remember when he was like super famous and a problem?
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the reasons why I'm like, this deplatforming shit works, because
Yes, it does.
everybody was just like, if you kick him off of Fox News, he'll just get bigger and better. I'm like, I haven't said this man's name in 5 years.
And forever, my nigga.
Like last time we brought him up on the show was probably the Me Too movement stuff that got lost him his job. Like that's what he's up to right now. I'm good.
All right, ain't nobody going to no BillO'Reilly.com.
Yeah, I can deal with this level of bullshit.
Right, nothing gonna change, and your book still ain't gonna be there. Okay.
Right. So yeah, I appreciate it. Let's see what else you got here in the random fucking news.
Ain't it random?
Good grief.
Oh, I'm good today with the randomness.
I know you are, but I'm the one got to organize this shit. Joe Coy. This is kind of white people news. Joe Coy performs first stand-up set since bombing at the Golden Globes. Mocks soft celeb crowd. Can we fucking laugh at ourselves? So I guess Joe Coy is doing the Joy Coy. Oh, okay, so he counted his tour's name the Joy Coy World Tour. So he was doing it at this theater in Kansas City, I believe. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We are dealing with some inclement weather. The artist will be arriving shortly at Tacoma, Washington. Oh, okay. So it's Tacoma, Washington, I guess. Why isn't it just getting to the point of the article? Anyway, holy shit, right? Said Coy to a round of applause. This big hug that you gave me is all I need. Swear to God, fucking whirlwind, goddamn." According to his disastrous Golden Globes hosting gig, alluding to his disastrous Golden Globes hosting gig and the fallout, he said, "A lot of marshmallows, man. They're delicious, but goddamn, they're soft. Just come from a different time. I see the changes that are happening. I get it, but goddamn, can we fucking laugh at ourselves?" The audience roared with applause, and someone from the audience yelled, "Fuck them." He said, "I got a feeling none of you motherfuckers watched it, and I'm kind of happy. Oh my God, it feels good to live in this country. We get to say what we want. Don't be apologetic about it at all. Be able to speak your mind."
Unless you're black and brown. And
he's some type of brown.
Okay.
Nice try, buddy.
But I still mean that, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. He fits the description. I guess the thing is, when he did the Golden Globes, he bombed pretty bad. I know when he first showed up, he kind of like first of all, they only gave him the gig like 10 or 11 days out from the fucking
so he didn't have a long time to prepare.
Right. And he kind of like talked shit about the writers before he started his monologue.
Oh no!
Yeah, like alluding to the idea of not really needing them and shit, and because he downplayed those writers, there's a lot of comedians that were like, "Yeah, he bombed and I don't got your back on this one,"
Right, because your writers may have helped you, nigga. You out there trying to wing it, and this ain't the winging kind of job.
Yeah, normally comedians kind of across the spectrum have the backs of the comedians that bomb at these award shows or the comedians that get pushed back at the award shows for the most part. Just the idea of like, it's stand-up comedy, we're gonna make jokes. You guys gotta fucking like chill out or don't invite comedians.
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't understand what's happening. It's kind of the role of the court jester when you have these comedians come do this stuff. We're watching a room of extremely rich, famous, attractive people give themselves awards for their job. We're watching them in the finest fashions, eat the finest foods, and all this shit, right? Look the best, all this. So what your Joan Rivers used to do, what the host of the awards do, there was like this unwritten contract between the celebrities and everyone else where it's like, yeah, we're gonna shit on you. You know, we're gonna talk about what you're wearing. We're gonna talk about whatever scandals or things that you did, whatever awkward moments you had throughout the year. We're gonna call you vain. We're gonna this is a roast in a way, but the roast is actually what makes it tolerable, that this motherfucking rich ass crowd of people that oftentimes, are biased with the awards, where Black and brown people and women and stuff don't get them. Like, it made it okay because we're shitting on you.
Right.
That's it. Like, okay, you're Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, the hottest people in the world. Everyone wants to fuck you. Well, I'm going to make a joke that your last movie was bad. And then we all move the fuck on. And that's why you make $25 million a movie. And it makes you look magnanimous because, hey, it's your big night, but you are able to kind of take a joke about it.
Correct.
But I think since the internet, a few things have changed. One, internet people are always disgruntled, and they kind of want to have a monopoly on mean.
Yes,
so
they do.
They're mean all the goddamn time. Like, they're the ones taking pictures of people's outfit, or mocking everybody's outfits online, but they would be mad when Joan Rivers did the same thing.
Right. And also, it's one of those things where I'm trying to be funny. To an extent, the internet kind of took the fun out of those shows for me. Where I used to, watch some, even if I didn't watch the show itself, it was fun watching the pre-stuff and the jokes and all that stuff. But like you say, now with everybody having a hot take and everybody being so mean, everybody being so nasty, it's like, no, only we can do this. And you get outraged by anybody they put up there. Somebody says something halfway, funny or shady, everybody demands that they be fired, but the shit that y'all say is 10 times worse. So it's like, no, only we can do this. Yeah, people that will never be on TV and will never have these gigs, they're not going to give you all the jobs.
Yeah, and I mean, I think something has changed, especially when you add in, that a lot of people find like a kind of power in like the being like, no, you can't make a joke about this person or that group. This is punching down. This is that. And in that room, it was kind of all had to be fair game, because the fact you're in the room, we're all punching up now. Like, these are the elite people. And, as long as the joke isn't like, hey, you're an N-word or something, it was like, yeah, this is the place where the funny stuff at. And it's one of the reasons lately they've only really been able to get controversial type of comedians to do it. And I don't mean they're controversial and like, they're the worst, but Ricky Gervais, Seth MacFarlane, Jimmy Kimmel, they had to get people that are old school and are just like, I'm gonna have to offend some people tonight.
Yeah,
and they won't like it, but guess what? Y'all will invite me back, because there's not a lot of people that want to do this job, because y'all don't allow the comedians to be liked by everybody anymore.
Correct.
Now the comedians have to like kiss your ass as you get the awards, which is, to a lot of people is like, one, not that funny, but also kind of insufferable. It makes the broadcast so insufferable,
yes.
know? Gerard Carmichael did it last year, or did one of them last year. And I remember a lot of controversy because people were like, he made reference to the fact that the hotel was the hotel where Whitney Houston died. And people got offended like he made fun of her dying. But he was making fun of the audience and the people that put on the show. But people on Twitter either they don't understand humor, or more importantly, more accurately, they want to appear to be offended, so they pretend not to understand the power dynamics of the joke he was making.
Correct.
So it's hard for these comedians to just be funny like they're doing stand-up, because no one's gonna allow that at these shows. And I think that's what in addition to not being prepared, shitting on his writers, a big part of what he experienced was a lot of people in that room being like, I'm not here to be picked on.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to be the type of comedian to be like, I don't give a fuck if you're here to be picked on or not. You're going to get these jokes.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a comedian up there like that, it falls flat like this. Like,
well, also, once you're bombing, you're bombing.
Agreed.
Like, it's hard to turn shit around. It just is what it is. But he's venting, at this other stand-up shows because this is the number one thing people know about him at this moment.
Yeah, and also a lot of times over the years, a lot of these award shows, their ratings have gone down, and I think a lot of it has gone down, in my opinion, because for a lot of people that tune in and go, it's not funny. It's just me, like you say, watching this shit and not really enjoying the in between the awards because y'all do things that for the audience they go, I'll just watch the clips on YouTube or find out online versus watching live.
Yeah, we're also inundated with content,
Mm-hmm.
by which I mean not just the content of like, I don't have time to watch all these fucking movies and all that shit anyway. Half people are just waiting. People aren't going to the movies anymore. They're waiting for shit to go streaming.
Right.
There's shit on when these awards are on now. Now it's like this award or NFL playoff football. Which one am I gonna watch?
Football.
Then there's just the like there used to be like a prestige because there was like, oh, only this amount of movies and TV shows get made. Now everything's streaming and stuff. Is nothing's centralized. We're not really watching things as a family anymore, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So I think all those contribute to people not feeling as, enthusiastic about these awards. And, for me, I've never been enthusiastic about the awards. It's just never been my ministry. I'm not saying that as some Johnny come lately shit or the flex. I never, like, before there was Oscar so white or whatever the fuck, I was always like, Oscar so white, It just wasn't for me. I'm not the type of person that can watch my favorite things or the things I think are best continually get snubbed and then adjust my expectations to like, well, they're right and I'm wrong. Like, I'm just not that kind of, so like if Denzel doesn't win for Malcolm X, I'm like, fuck the Academy. I don't walk away and go, nah, you got to give it to Al Pacino, Sin of a Woman. Like, no, they were wrong and I felt right. So why would I keep watching something that continually does that? Like, George Floyd gets killed and then they throw you a bone. It's like, here's an Oscar for some blacks. Like, that's not what I thought this was even supposed to be. So just I've never been that interested in the general thing, but yeah. So he did address his hosting of the Golden Globes while never naming the award ceremony outright. The comic talked about his long journey to make it to the night stand-up show. We fucking Ubered here. It was 4.5 hours. And his team had to make an emergency landing in Kansas City flying from Los Angeles. My whole crew, none of them brought Parkers. Me, I brought 2. You think the snow is CGI? It's real, motherfucker. We're inside a goddamn snow globe. We should be dead right now, all of us. If not by the plane, then by the snow. He said, Mom is slipping on a patch of ice. The weather is better in Hollywood, but I'm happy to be in this blizzard where it pours, it rains, it pours. I have to ask this question, and it's a serious question. Why do you guys live here? It's fucking cold. This place should be empty. So it's just kind of a stand-up set. This is not. And I'm sorry I'm reading it like this, Joe Coy. I know you listen to the show. I know it was funny at the time. It's just I'm reading this article because it's acting like you were leaving a comment on it. Clearly he was just doing stand-up.
Right.
He said, here in St. Louis, you got people that listen to you, understand we're not out to attack each other. It's stupid in LA. You want me to guess what ethnicity you are? No, I already got in trouble this week. Oh God, this is fun.
I already got in trouble this week.
I haven't laughed in 4 days.
Hilarious.
I'm so happy. You guys make me so happy. Share anecdotes. Then he did his set, I guess. So yeah, I don't know, man. I do feel like he has some valid points. The internet is just never a good place to discuss stand-up or comedy because he did fuck up throwing his writers under the bus and then thinking he could just do that shit. You got to take it serious if you're going to do it.
Correct. And that is a long period of time to be kind of dipping in and out without somebody kind of guiding you along. And these writers are going, a lot of these writers are veterans. They're like, bitch, we've been writing for this shit for some of them decades. I think we know what the fuck we're doing, dog. Don't brush us off like our job isn't that important.
And he is a consummate professional from, everything I remember. Like he's not just some asshole. You know what I mean? Like he's a dude that does like good work and has a history of doing good work. So I don't know. It just sucks. It really just fucking sucks that
and that
shit didn't go well.
Enough. Yeah.
And it makes him a bad messenger for something I think is a valid point, which is like, these award shows need to make up their fucking minds. Do y'all want comedians or not?
Agreed.
And also, what kind of comedians do y'all want? Because I saw somebody, God, I'm forgetting his last name. I want to say it's Guy.
Because
Branum. Hold on one second.
Mm-hmm.
Guy Branum, comedian, very funny man, brought up a great point, which is, you know who loves award shows? You know who loves pageantry and fashion? Gay people, LGBTQ people, people that drag queens. It's like, why don't y'all have somebody like that do the stand up, do the monologue, be the comedian? Because they're already in a protected class to where people are gonna let them be mean.
Yes.
Like say what you want to, fair, unfair. People let gay people be more catty than we let straight people.
Agreed.
But then too, they'll have like reverence and history and all that stuff for it, and they've never gotten to really host it before. I was like, that's such a great idea. They'll never think of this idea because it's too fucking good.
Yes.
And that would be the best host because there's already normally a reverence within the culture for that shit. You know, as opposed to some guy coming in and arrogantly just being like, I'm gonna just freestyle it. Like, nigga, what? That's not gonna work.
Right.
But on top of that, yeah, you do have a point. It's hard to do these rooms, especially when these motherfuckers have a stick up their ass and it's the biggest night of their lives and you're making jokes, you know?
Mm-hmm. I agree. And it's one of those things where I agree with the make up your mind. Either we here or we not. And as time goes along, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people seen that, and I'm pretty sure whatever circle they got smaller and smaller and smaller. People go, no, I'm not doing that bullshit. Y'all not gonna have me up here embarrassing me. I'm not gonna be in front of, but particularly comedians are like, bitch, I can do a tough crowd at a bar. I don't need to be on a tough crowd on national television in front of y'all niggas.
Yeah, and I think it used to catapult people into another stratosphere, but it hasn't in a while. And I think we haven't been able to find the balance again of like what is simply like being funny versus too mean. And I think right now people are leaning into like everything's too mean. Right. You make any joke. He brought up Taylor Swift as a joke, and Taylor Swift, like, he was like, one thing I can promise you is that we're gonna cut the Taylor Swift less than the NFL games. And she didn't laugh at it, obviously, because her experience with how she's being blamed for all the shit with it. But the point being, like, that wasn't a joke that was mean to her. No. It wasn't even a joke really about anything she did.
It's about the NFL.
It's a joke about the NFL.
Yes.
Putting the camera on her and then pretending that like, oh, we don't know where all this hate is coming from. But it didn't. She wasn't ready to laugh. No one in the audience wanted to laugh. And it's like, yeah, that is a horrible environment to do jokes in. So I kind of understood what he was saying. Biden aiming to scrub medical debt from people's credit scores, which could up the ratings for millions of people. I think we've talked about this in passing before, but yeah, it's another thing that they're doing that, you won't really hear about, and then people will say they don't do nothing. And where's Kamala Harris? She was the person that announced this.
They always ask what she is.
So, if you gave a fuck, you would know. Let's see what else we got here. I think I figured out how to get it to show. Earth shattered global heat record in 2023. We're number one. We're number one.
Are. Yeah.
Shout out to global warming.
Come on, the oceans is getting warmer. Yeah, everything it's getting hot in here. Every winter we breaking records. Every summer we breaking records.
Yep.
But you let people tell it, global warming ain't real, bitch. What?
And January 2024 is on track to be so warm that for the first time in a 12-month period will exceed the 1.5 degree threshold. Copernicus Deputy Director Samantha Burgess says scientists have repeatedly said that Earth would need to average 1.5 degrees of warming over the next 2 or 3 decades to be a technical breach of the threshold. The 1.5 degree goal has been kept alive because lives are at risk and the choice has to be made or has to be kept alive, said Burgess. And these choices don't impact you but they impact the children and our grandchildren. The record heat made life miserable and sometimes deadly in Europe, North America, and China, and many other places last year. And it also is to blame for extreme weather events like the lengthy drought that devastated the Horn of Africa, the torrential downpours that wiped out dams and killed thousands in Libya, and the Canada wildfires that fouled the air from North America to Europe. Yep. And we're just fiddling through it.
And all that shit is affected by one another. It's the reason why people talking about the shark attack. Yeah, them niggas is swimming inland. Like, they're not doing that for no reason. You know, the woman of the water and shit, the coral reefs are dying. And the thing about the coral reefs, I found out that the coral reefs is one of the few things that keeps water cooler. And as these coral reefs die, the waters get warmer, which means they get stronger. And also, the coral reefs is one of the things that breaks up the water so that the hurricanes aren't as strong. So, the coral reef is dying. So when the hurricane comes, the hurricane go, bitch, ain't nothing stopping me now. And he just come through and just tear everything up.
Book bans in the U.S. schools and libraries increased by 33% the past school year. 33%. Woo.
For stupid shit.
The organization recorded 3,362 instances of book bans over the past year, targeting 1,557 unique titles. Over 40% of all book bans occurred in Florida.
God damn.
Where laws like parental rights and education and the Stop Woke Acts have provided a template for laws in other states aimed at radically reshaping the American educational system. In total, PEN America reported 1,406 book ban cases in the state, nearly as many as Texas, 625, Missouri, 333, Utah, 281, and Pennsylvania, 186 combined. According to the report, the overwhelming majority of book bans across the country have targeted books about race and racism, those featuring characters of color, and books about LGBTQ experience.
No shit.
Yeah. Just, it's so racist to be like, it has a character of color in it. I'm gonna need that band.
Mm-hmm.
They may have experienced something, and we can't do that. I can't have my kids know that this protagonist may have experienced some discrimination. What are you, insane? The U.S. Department of Health urges the DEA to reclassify weed as a less dangerous drug.
I agree.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing, I wish the jobs would stop testing for it. Now, there's certain jobs that they need to test for, but just like your regular run-of-the-mill jobs, no, you operate machinery, okay. Doctors, lawyers, like, it's certain shit you go, no, nigga, you need to be tested. But just your regular ass office worker, no.
Yeah, the Department of Health and Human Services requested the Drug Enforcement Administration to reconsider their federal marijuana drug laws. The agency hopes this will lead to reclassification, which could significantly impact those incarcerated on weed charges,
right,
and how the cases are tried moving forward. As of now, marijuana is categorized as a Schedule 1 drug, which listed as being potentially dangerous. The DEA places cannabis in the same class as much harder drugs such as heroin and LSD. Now officials with the HHS are asking DEA Administrator Ann Milgram to place cannabis on the Schedule 3 category, which will reduce punishments for it and even allow weed business owners to claim marijuana-related expenses on their taxes.
Yeah, that's good. And another thing I wish they do, a lot of people that own these businesses sometimes have a hard time dealing with banks. Because, banks are like, hey, dog, yeah, I understand they pass it in the state, but, the federal government say no. So if they do that, they can actually, work with more banks and shit like that, because I think that those things actually matter. Because what's the point of opening up this business and do shit when you literally can't function, as a business sometimes because of the restrictions of a lot of federal laws.
Mm-hmm. President Joe Biden has previously expressed his desire to have weed reclassified. However, the initial request a year ago had not yet been approved. Both Democrats and Republicans alike have supported these types of measures to continue decriminalization of marijuana and fuel the legal weed industry. Well, just another thing they're trying to get done.
Mm-hmm. But they don't do enough for black and brown people, even though they get arrested at a much higher rate than anybody else from small dime bags.
If this is passed, though, it would do something for black and brown people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move into another segment. Oh yeah, sorry, I gotta do it manually. Hold on. How did I have this? Sorry, I gotta figure out how I even had this shit in here. Nope, that did not work. All right.
Nope, that's not how you do it. This is what is happening here.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how they did. Oh, okay. Tags. Sorry, it's like its own language or whatever. This is such bullshit. I
It is such bullshit. That's hilarious.
I found it. Okay, I found it. Guys, the things I do for this show because I love y'all. All right, now let's get into some fucking with black people. There we go.
Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people.
A live podcast network and barometer partner to drive equitable monetization for black creators and media owners. The Alive podcast, alive like the word alive, podcast network, a leading media tech platform dedicated to amplifying black voices and increasing monetization, is excited to announce its partnership with Barometer, a renowned provider of brand suitability and safety solutions for user-generated content. Together, they are poised to challenge historical disenfranchisement faced by creators of diverse backgrounds and revolutionize monetization opportunities for black creators and media owners. Basically, what happens is they use artificial intelligence or something to like scroll through the audio of different podcasts, and they then determine the suitability for ads from these podcasts, and they go to brands and go, "Hey, you should advertise with X podcast." The problem is, because it doesn't understand how black people talk, black slang, because a lot of black podcasts, you know, there's like some cursing, there's all kinds of jokes and comedy and stuff. It doesn't analyze it right, and they often mark black shows unsuitable for ads, despite the fact that those shows are, if it was a white show and they do cursing and they're doing a bunch of stuff and they're, you know, they can be anti-vax, they can be bigoted, they can be, but it doesn't flag unless it's like some overt, like saying the hard R N-word type stuff. So they don't get flagged, and you can advertise with them, but you wouldn't be able to advertise with, say, just a popular black show.
Yeah, like, you know how we were like, you know, kind of old school, that's the bomb, or the thing was like, oh, you said bomb. You know, next thing you know, they flagged you for being a terrorist or some shit. You were like, that's not what that meant.
The root causes of this disenfranchisement lie in keyword-based solutions and stereotypes. Keyword-based solutions disregard context, imposing culturally homogenous norms that fail to capture the nuances and richness of diverse cultures and communities.
Right.
One community that's been particularly affected by both keyword-based solutions and stereotypes are black creators and black-owned media entities. Recognizing the harm caused by these challenges, the Alive Podcast Network has joined forces with Barometer to reshape this narrative by utilizing data and driving equitable monetization opportunities for black creators and media owners.
Good.
So, I mean, it sounds like a positive thing, and we'll see how it actually plays out.
Right.
You know, this is from January 18th, so I don't know how far along this thing is. But anything that can kind of cut through the red tape for black folks could be, you know, potentially good. 0 to 100.
It gets 2 scores.
Okay, listen up, Appy. It's gonna get 2 scores, and I know these ones kind of confuse you. So go ahead, Karen.
It's gonna get 2 scores. The first score is for the AI algorithm that scraped through and was like, you said the wrong thing, or I don't understand. So that one get a Jakaris, because that's really, really fucked up. That is not actually, it's just doing keywords, and the keywords have to be our keywords, because we not the programmers and shit like that. Like, we not the people making all these algorithms. So a lot of our shit isn't even considered when it does these searches, you know, when it comes through. And then shit that they need to be flagging for white folks, they don't even consider flagging that shit until somebody becomes outraged and brings it to their attention. Then everybody's shocked and surprised, like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Well, they've been saying this shit the whole time, but your algorithm didn't flag it. So yes, that gets a motherfucking Jakaris. But the other one gets a 0 because I appreciate that. No, I take it back. It gets a 25. I appreciate them doing it, but I'm still kind of pissed that they have to do it specifically, like almost single us out, because the algorithm didn't do what it was supposed to do in the first fucking place.
Yeah, I agree with your score. I mean, the fact that, because, you know, we talk about this all the time as black creators, and like we ourselves independently have reached out to podcast advertisers and been like, hey, would you advertise on our show? And that's something, a lot of shows don't even have to do because advertisers are coming to them.
Right.
And we've had some people do it on our behalf. We've had a few advertisers even reach out to us, but unless it's typically someone doing it on our behalf or something like a how it's kind of automated with Spotify for podcasters, we typically get rejected. And
yes, gets no response.
And a lot of times the reason we even reached out to these advertisers is because we heard them advertise on podcasts that are similar to ours. But those podcasts, a lot of cases were white podcasts. And those white podcasts that I listen to are just as irreverent, just as funny, just as inappropriate, if not more than us. And yet they were getting those advertisers, and you could say it also could have just been reach, could have been downloads. But especially at that time, we were getting a lot of downloads. Like we weren't some slouch show. And yet we had the damnedest time getting advertisers. So I think it's a bit personal for me.
Yes.
In that the original, like you said, you have to have two scores. The original Dracarys for the fucking racism of just, and how much that's affected our industry and how much that's affected Black people in this industry. Who knows how much money has been lost because, they were like, no, HelloFresh should never advertise with you, but they will advertise with Adam Carolla or something. That's crazy.
Right. And go ahead.
And then the second one is, obviously I zero for the people that are now doing this work. I hope they do it fairly, and I hope they help independent people, and it's not just trying to help the big dogs that are already at the top that don't need help. I hope they help Black people, whether they're in a network or not, whether they're in, with a major brand or not.
And sometimes it can be very, very frustrating at times. Like I said, particularly when you go in these places, and a lot of times they would get, and we've proven it from sponsors that have sponsored us in the past. Shout out to Dexter from Shout It All Productions, who are like, hey, dog, if you put your money into them, you'll get your money back tenfold, and on top of that, a lot of times you don't even have to put the same amount of money that you put in for the other podcast, and you would literally get your money back, particularly if you do something long term, because a lot of times with Black and Brown and LGBTQ and other podcasts, a lot of times people actually have to seek them out, because if you're anything like me, when I first got into podcasting, I thought podcasts were number white folks, because literally when you get into podcasting, that's all that's kind of pushed out to you, is unless you know somebody that suggests a Black podcast, all you'd be like, okay, this ain't nothing but white folks. I want somebody to talk like me. I want somebody that, has my accent. I want somebody that has the New York accent, the country accent, the California, Texas, whatever part of the country you're in. Or when shit happens, I want to hear from a Black perspective. I don't want to hear from somebody that don't see color, don't see race, don't talk about it, or gloss across it. And so a lot of times Black people and other marginalized people have to search very, very hard for their podcasts. Particularly if it's some shit they like. They have to go through hours and hours and hours of listening to find some shit they like. So when they like it, they love it. And a lot of times they stay, even if it's forever or a season, but they're very loyal and very dedicated. And that's very hard to get them to understand. Everybody looking for the big numbers, but no, sometimes you get a small number of people that's very dedicated. A lot of times your product would actually sell more per capita per person than they do when you go on these large podcasts. Because JL has said that he has been on these big radio shows and get a fraction or get crickets. He came on our show, and no matter where he goes in the country, one of y'all niggas will show up and be like, hey, JL, I heard you on Rod and Karen. So I know that our audience is out there, and it's very insulting, and it makes me mad. It makes me upset that we have to fight so hard just to get a lot of times the bare minimum.
A new Florida bill to consider defamation if accused of racism, sexism, homophobia, and transphobia. So Senate Bill 1780 introduced on Friday, aims to simplify the process for individuals to sue for defamation, focusing on defamation, false light, and unauthorized publication of name or likeness. According to the measure, an allegation that the plaintiff has discriminated against another person or group because of their race, sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity constitutes defamation. The proposed law implies that even if those accusations are untrue, they would be automatically deemed defamatory. It proposes removing the actual malice requirement in defamation lawsuits for discrimination accusations. It also seeks to streamline the process for inferring actual malice following a discrimination claim. In cases involving homophobia or transphobia accusations, defendants facing defamation charges cannot use the plaintiff's religious or scientific beliefs as a defense. If found liable, the defendant may face a minimum fine of $35,000. This is insane. This is insane. So they use often that the reason they're homophobic, transphobic is their religion or it's just science.
Mm-hmm.
You now can't bring that up as like.
But that's what y'all say,
right? You can't be like, but they said this because their religion. They said their religion was why it was okay to be transphobic,
right?
And then they look at you and go, "Nah, you can't. You can't use that. $35,000 fine." It aims to redefine public figure and defamation suits, excluding non-elected or appointed public employees and individuals who gain notoriety by defending themselves publicly, giving interviews, or becoming viral online. The bill extends to statements made in print, television, and social media. Additionally, the bill eliminates privileges for journalists, including the protection of source anonymity. So two things on that. One, if a journalist writes, "Hey, sources told us Ron DeSantis in a private meeting called everybody the N-word." Number one, I'm suing you for defamation because you're implying that I'm racist. Two, whoever your source is, you can't protect them. You now have to tell me the source or you go into jail. This is how they get it in the law. This is what happens. All this shit because he wants to be president and he never will be.
Never.
Also, it deems statements from anonymous sources as presumptively false, potentially making journalists susceptible to lawsuits. So basically, they want the judge and the law to assume anything from an anonymous person is a lie. It's man, the protection they want to do to just racist in that state is crazy. Mm-hmm. So this is some like Jim Crow law shit.
Yes.
Dracarys for me.
The same Dracarys. And it's very frustrating because there are people that live there that did not ask for this. They did not want this, nor did they vote for this. And it's one of those things to where it could be very, very frustrating that they have to live under these fucked up ass laws, that they have no control over. And for some people, and what happens a lot of times, you have a mass exodus of people. You're going to have a lot of journalists. People going to be like, the fuck is this? Like, I'm not going to be here.
They will be fine with that.
In the state to be sued.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis and them will be fine with that.
But yeah, I think that's the whole purpose.
Yeah, they hope
is to make these people leave.
Yeah, they hope those people leave. And they also have had an influx of people to Florida. A lot of racist people, bigoted people, right-wing people have been told, hey, this is the Mecca. To come here and, I mean, not the real Mecca. Oh, don't get it. But no, they're like, come here and like be racist. We're going to make sure you comfortable here. Mm-hmm. That's our job.
You care of.
You hate trans kids. We are the state for you. But yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. Let's do something a little bit lighter.
Okay.
A little bit whiter. Let's do some white people news. If I can find the clip. Here we go.
White people news. Excited to the barbecue. We might be problematic or a little expensive. It's really hard on our fragile big city. White people news.
Oscar nominations came out today.
Mhm.
And Ryan Gosling was nominated for his role as Ken in Barbie.
Okay, I loved him in Barbie.
Me too. He criticizes the Oscars because they snubbed Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig, the
I bet that
star and
I about
director.
to say, right, ain't that his co-host? He was like, y'all do know, I know I'm just Ken, but you know the movie's called Barbie, right?
Just proving the theme of the movie correct, that the man gets all the attention and the credit and the women get none. He said, I'm extremely honored to be nominated by my colleagues alongside such remarkable artists in a year of so many great films. And I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm also incredibly honored and proud that it's for portraying a plastic doll named Ken. But there is no Ken without Barbie, and there's no Barbie movie
No.
without Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie.
Agreed.
The two people most responsible for this history-making, globally celebrated film. No recognition would be possible for anyone on the film without their talent, grit, and genius. To say that I'm disappointed that they are not nominated in their respective categories would be an understatement. Against all odds, are nothing but a couple of soulless, scantily clad, and thankfully crotchless dolls that made us laugh. They broke our hearts, they pushed the culture, and they made history. Their work should be recognized along with the other very deserving nominees. Having said that, I'm so happy for America Ferrera and the other incredible artists who contributed their talents to making this such a groundbreaking film. Yeah, and I've already seen the takes of like people downplaying the film and like it wasn't that good anyway. But one, I think bullshit. It was really good. That's one of the reasons it made all the money in a year where nothing made money. People were fucking crying at the America Ferrera scenes. Margot Robbie did her fucking thing as Barbie. She fucking killed that. And you know, can't the concept and stuff. I know all of y'all read Bell Hooks, but for a lot of people, it was kind of like putting some principles about feminism and the double consciousness of being a woman in a fucking patriarchal, sexist society. It was kind of putting a lot of words to that don't often, you know, make it, especially not with a big budget in a pop culture mainstream event. So it felt like, you know, some level of like this movie does deserve the accolades that it's getting.
Mhm.
And as with all this shit, you know, we're so cynical that now we've removed ourselves a few months, and it's like, well, now the movie wasn't really that good anyway, right? Was Margot Robbie even good in it? I mean, in the directing, I mean, it could have been better and shit. And here's the thing I'm gonna say: whatever wins, most of y'all gonna be mad about anyway.
Agreed.
So when there's some white man wins this shit, now then you gonna, this is what always happens. Some white man wins the shit or whatever, or somebody you feel like didn't really deserve it, and then you go back and we had this retroactive like, man, that movie really got snubbed. But I watched people kind of defend this shit today, and I was like, ugh, like this shit is bad that they didn't. The women of Barbie did not get nominated. Is a pretty big. That's a pretty big one.
It's called Barbie.
God damn. It's like if they only like we get mad as fuck when like they have a slave movie and they're like, we're gonna give the award to Brad Pitt. And we're like, damn.
These niggas and y'all gave it to Brad Pitt.
Lupita Nyong'o got beat for nothing.
Right? Come
on. Let's see what else is happening. Keith McNally defends innocent Woody Allen as he prepares to undergo kidney stone surgery. I don't even know what he did. The British restaurateur, shared his support for the director on Instagram Monday as prepared to go.
Who asked for this? How did he even come up, sir? We get kidney stone surgery. What did he got to do with your kidneys?
I'm really trying to understand what made him.
Did he think he was gonna die? Let me get my last word out. What I don't understand. What's happening here? Last will and testament.
Maybe he was thinking about how evil people live longer, and he said, "Now, if I'm a good person and I go into this surgery, I might not come out. I might die in the surgery. But if I go ahead and do some evil real quick, you know, Satan will take care of me." He said, if I don't come out of this alive, I'd like to say a big fuck off right now to everybody on Instagram who criticized me for supporting the innocent Woody Allen.
Nobody asked for this. Literally, who asked for this? Who asked for this?
The restaurant owner 72 has stood behind the Oscar-winning filmmaker who has for years denied allegations of molesting his adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow, when she was a child. Dylan, 38, has long maintained that Allen, who adopted her as a baby with Mia Farrow, sexually assaulted her in the 1990s. Meanwhile, the Blue Jasmine director, 88, has labeled the accusations as an unconscionable and gruesomely damaging manipulation of innocent children for vindictive and self-serving motives. When Hatchet Book Group canceled the publication of his memoir in spring of 2020, McNally lashed out on Instagram and calling the decision a dangerous victory for censorship. But the outspoken entrepreneur has a history of posting his controversial opinions. Last year, he came under fire for inflammatory posts following the October 7th Hamas terrorist attack on Israel. The more utterly repugnant the facts, the greater the responsibility becomes to listen to the other side, he wrote. McNally initially hit back at critics by saying he's part Jewish and lived for long stretches of time on Israel kibbutz. I think the atrocities perpetrated by Hamas are vile, barbaric, and totally repugnant, but I stand by what I wrote this morning. The more utterly repugnant the facts, the greater the responsibility to listen to the other side. This doesn't mean forgive. He, however, apologized days later, explaining that he has never once in his life recognized nor supported Hamas. As a terrorist organization comprised of murderers and thugs, I apologize for my post. What? I guess he just has a history of going off.
I don't know. He got old and just said, "Fuck it." I don't.
Turned off the
understand.
comments.
You could have said nothing, sir. I mean,
All right.
I mean, they willing you in for kidney stone surgery, and this is what you choose to say.
That's what the white folks is talking about over there.
Apparently, it's
Okay.
flames.
California woman recently was arrested for stealing approximately $2,500 worth of Stanley cups.
Stanley cups.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was only. Where have I been? I thought it was only one.
Not the Stanley Cup. That's what you
Hockey.
get for hockey championship.
Yes.
Stanley Cups are those cups that people been waiting in line at Target to buy.
Oh, them pink cups?
Yeah, a lot of them are pink, but I guess, is this just any kind of cup? Because
I
these are
don't-
different colors here.
I don't know. Are they good quality or something? Is that why they boxing each other out for them?
I don't know. I've decided to let white people know. I've told you this before on the show that I've decided to be the kind of person that doesn't know.
Okay,
You congratulated me, and now you're asking me a bunch of questions.
Oh,
like
my
I
bad.
know when I told you I decided to not know on purpose.
Oh, my bad.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I pass these cups and be like, okay.
A woman from California has been arrested for involvement in the theft of 65 highly sought after Stanley water bottles, approximately worth $2,500.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Now let me break that down. 2,500 divided by what's the divide? Divided by 65. Oh, these shit's like $40 a cup. Oh my
shit,
damn!
they better be indestructible. $40 a cup. They better keep the hot shit hot, the cold shit cold. The fuck is this? Do they got batteries? Is it Wi-Fi, Bluetooth? The fuck is this cup?
I don't know. I've seen you spend more on less, so I think you need to stop acting so high and mighty over there.
I can judge.
I get the Amazon bill all the time.
I can judge. I'm not buying no Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm. I bet we got one in there.
We might. I don't know. I don't be knowing the name brand.
January 17th, Roseville police officers are called to a store in response to reports of employees who witnessed a 23-year-old woman from Sacramento taking a shopping cart filled with drinkware without making any payment. Despite
the front door.
Despite the store staff's attempt to intervene, she declined to halt, proceeded to load her vehicle with the stolen merchandise. So then they got her on Highway 65. She was pulled over and arrested. That's the funny part. And she pulled over and were arrested on charges of grand theft.
Was she going 65 on 65?
Probably. While Stanley quenchers are all the rage, we strongly advise against turning to crime to fulfill your hydration habits, said the police. Just must have been reselling them.
Right. I'm about to say, child, she wasn't trying to hydrate nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, they have a surge in popularity. It says it includes effective social media marketing, the introduction of distinct color variations, and collaborations with other brands. A 16-year-old individual from Alabama mentioned her parents had invested approximately $3,000 in the past year to assist her in amassing a complete collection of every style and color of Stanley Cup on the market.
God Damn, are they gonna be trading these things like like trading cars? The fuck is this?
Additionally, videos capturing customers racing through stores in pursuit of limited release tumblers have gained significant viral attention recently.
So they be like, we're dropping this like the Pokemons. They're gonna be out there fighting in the parking lot like the adults was over the Pokemon cards.
I guess so. I like this is not something I was even
Aware
of. So it's all
I didn't
news
realize
to
we were
me.
boxing each other out of a thermoses.
Yeah. Here's a video from YouTube. I guess
Taking over social media again. Videos of the brand's latest release are going viral. Stanley just dropped a new cup in honor of Valentine's Day.
you can see there are white women literally outside in the cold, wrapped up in parkas and stuff, and they're waiting on Target to open. So this is like when the Dreamcast came out or something.
I remember that. Holy shit.
And fans started lining up before the sun came out just to snag one like it was a Black Friday all over again. And once they got inside, things got a little crazy, okay? This is a TikTok showing the scene inside a store out in El Paso. Not they running. I cannot. Now the tumblers, by the way, are already all over eBay, obviously for much more, selling for more than $200 for y'all to chill some water and some ice.
Right.
Y'all better
Ain't nothing
stop.
special.
$200
This black woman is too good doing this news.
in some cases, okay? People in the comments say they just don't get it. But these cups have been gaining popularity for years now, thanks in large part to TikTok. In fact, between viral videos and the brand's line of 40-ounce bottles, CNBC had a report, okay, that the company's revenue, it jumped from $74 million in 2019 to $750 million in 2023.
Goddamn!
The math people, y'all do the percentage on that. It's pretty big, and I'm sure a lot of other companies will love that. So we want to know, how many water bottles do you have? You heard them mention it earlier. Weigh in, WFAA.com/vote. What we say? How many people? What they got? 3?
WFAA, I think they can do it a little looser over there with their news. I like that. But man, yeah, this is what the white folks been up to.
That's definitely some white people news.
And now she's stealing them. Sex gem,
come up.
sex gems to vibrator rings, the wildest buys from Goop's Valentine's Day 2024 gift.
That's a girl. That's a girl with the goop.
Mm-hmm. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes.
You know she love to goop it up. She love a grift.
Yes, she does.
So yeah, she has a Goop Valentine's Day gift guide. Is packed with predictably extravagant gifts like wrinkle zapping Lima laser starter kit, $2,695.
The fuck is that?
Oh my god. Morse code bracelet, $14,800. Girl,
Morse code? Shit, does it blink too? The fuck is this?
does it blink? It don't look like it. I don't even know why they call it Morse code. The dots and dashes.
It'll be like dee, 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 dee. That was about to say that shit all the time. Morse code, bitch.
The dots and dashes, yellow and pink, sapphire, turquoise, diamond, and amethyst. That's all. What? The rich cream, supersized version of the coveted skin coddling cream, $540. A super smart fridge, which looks like a very small fridge. This is not a large size fridge. This is like something to go in your room. It has reversible racks. One side holds wine bottles, the other cans and smaller bottles. $1,295. What makes it super smart?
Right. There's a Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. The fuck is this?
I don't understand. I feel like you can get
What makes it smart other than it flips?
I'm looking at pictures of it. I don't. Y'all let me know when y'all see what make it smart. Super smart. I'm sorry, super smart. It just looked like a fridge to me.
Yeah, a multi-layered fridge.
Like maybe it's retro, but that retro is stupid. That's not smart.
All right.
Naturally better than sex mascara, $30.
Child boo.
She know how to name some shit.
Don't she though?
Will make you have the best orgasm of the toothpaste of $57. Then you had a toothpaste. You be like, "Where's the orgasm?" I'm like, "That's just the name, baby." Okay.
That's just the name.
The orgasm's up to you. Charlie toggle necklace, $4,500.
Woo.
Perfume, $175. Caviar uni pasta kit, $300 for a date night. Girl, for $300 you can have a date night at a nice Italian place with the pasta.
Yes, you can.
Oh my
And
God.
be eating hard too.
Right. Oh my goodness. A stay on Ischia for $300 a night.
Oh, that's not American dollars.
Oh yeah, 300 pounds.
I'm assuming that's pounds.
I don't know. This is crazy. This woman is wild as fuck, man.
And people is buying them.
She is the best.
Them shits is gonna be sold out.
I see why they let her say niggas in Paris, because she do anything. Date night set, Goop, $199, his and hers. Looks like a cock ring and a dildo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Does it vibrate? Shit, it better for $199.
We vibe is what it says. I
Okay.
don't know, maybe, but you know what? With her, that don't mean it vibrates.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, this set includes one vibrator for the vulva and one for the penis, so it does vibrate.
Okay, I'm about to say, child, $199. Something better be shaking.
Root lift spray for instant volume that lasts all day, $42. Now that's reasonable. Beginner's oyster shucking kit, $115. There's no way it costs that much if you just get it off Amazon. There's no way.
Right. I guarantee you somebody be like, I can sell it for that.
She is the man. I love her.
Best.
Honestly, we've
She
never
the
met
best.
a better. She's like, I don't gotta act no more. I gotta act like these products gonna help y'all.
Come on. Y'all see me the next Iron Man.
Yep. Good luck if y'all out there shopping.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all out there making these purchases. Cause
Child,
couldn't be
the
me.
same people that go there, you got them $40 yellow cups.
Golden Bachelor newlywed Gary Turner grabbed smoothies with his wife Teresa Nist after moving into her New Jersey home.
Oh, so he married? They got married.
They made them get married. 72 and 70. They together now. We love to see it. Okay. Now he didn't pick that black woman, which I think was a mistake.
I think it was a mistake too.
Maybe he was like, I know I can't keep up with all that. Maybe that's what it was.
That was a lot of women.
Jerry showcased his outdoorsy style in a gray fleece jacket over a colorful plaid shirt, blue jeans, and hiking boots. Teresa wore a cropped brown teddy coat with black skinny jeans and matching high heel booties. At one point, Turner, who's said to be 6 foot 1 inches tall, craned his neck down so he could communicate more easily with Nist. There they are. Looking like the couple from one of those Viagra commercials.
Yes.
Cialis.
When they be in the tub together.
Mm-hmm. So good for them, man. We love to see it. You know, they look like an age-appropriate Harrison Ford love interest should look in the movie.
Yes.
You know, try that, Hollywood.
Right. Instead of somebody young enough to be his daughter.
Speaking of age-appropriate and young enough to be their daughter, Dolph Lundgren.
Ooh.
Dolph Lundgren. Never seen the Russian in Rocky? I must break
okay.
you.
I didn't know the name.
Yeah, Dolph. He's a big time celebrity and superstar. What the fuck was trying to protect me from the viruses on this website? No.
Oh shit. No,
I
thank
need
you.
these viruses. What the fuck are y'all doing?
Ah!
The audience need to see what's going on. But yeah, he apparently is loving married life with Emma Crocodile, who's 27.
Wow.
66 and 27. Adding she was a good choice as she helps him with his career. She's very clever.
I bet she does help you with your career more than that.
Mhm.
27.
He previously was married
That's
to
his grandbaby.
He previously was married to Annette Quivberg between 1994 and 2011. But he's now told Fox News, I really enjoy it. He hailed Emma for being a wonderful partner in his personal life and his professional life. He revealed that they recently worked on a number of projects together, and he thinks they make a very good partnership. Well, she like it, I love it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cash in on that 27-year-old body at some point.
Child, she cashing in on it.
Could be dating some loser 30-year-old that works at the YMCA. She's like,
nope.
I'm
about to get this guap.
Blow the dust off.
I'm broke. I'm broke. You broke. No, we can't be both broke.
Blow the dust off these balls and cash in.
Come on.
Emma is great support. She's very clever. We're working on a comedy. She helped me on Wanted Man as well. She helps me with the script and in production and post-production, just giving me a second opinion. The loved up couple tied the knot in Mykonos, Greece in July 13, 2023. They previously told people we chose to celebrate our love by getting married at a villa in Mykonos with family and a few close friends. With both COVID and long road of challenging medical treatments, we've had to push our marriage plans many times. We felt it was finally the right time to celebrate love, life, and happiness. I wonder what they meant by challenging medical treatments. Oh my gosh, she's a straight up IG model.
Of course.
Yeah, I know what this man's into.
Mhm.
You gotta pretend to be like, yeah, she helps me with my scripts.
I bet she
it's
does.
the scripts, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It was you just because it's not like you could have found somebody that help you work with scripts in Hollywood. It needed to be a hot 27-year-old that didn't like clothes. Yeah, so but good for them though. They both seem to be consenting and happy.
If
and,
they like it, I love it.
Whatever. Good luck. We love to see what the whites are up to.
Good luck to you all.
All right. Julia Roberts.
I know who that is. I know that white lady.
Well, have you ever seen the movie Pretty Woman?
Years ago.
Right. And so there was a wardrobe choice that she made in Pretty Woman, where she's wearing a sweater wrapped around her waist, even though she has on like the hooker outfit from Pretty Woman, right? She said she did it because she thought she had a big butt, and that's why I wore that jacket like that in the movie. 56-year-old, she just admitted it.
Yeah, because I can see the pressure. Everybody think you big. It's like if you not like just no shape, Hollywood just don't even look at you. Like it don't make sense.
Yeah, but also like she does not have a big butt. Like, no offense to her.
But mentally,
or maybe she wants to hear that because that was back in the day when you say somebody had a big butt and it was an insult. It was
right, like like I said, at that time in her mind, right?
I know. And now Al from I remember Al from Married with Children. One would shit on his that woman that was playing his wife.
Yes, and she was curvaceous, right?
But he would act like she was ugly. But he always used to be like, "Your butt's getting so big, Peg," and I'd be like, as a kid, like, "What's the problem?" Like,
right?
I don't understand. Why Al mad about that?
He mad about ass?
So you married a woman and her butt got bigger and that's mad?
That's the problem? It got wider?
Like, but it just tells you how these issues with your body and being judged, and especially when you talk about Hollywood and how stringent they are on people's bodies. And I know it's loosened up some, but it's still pretty fucked up.
It is.
But it's just amazing because Julia Roberts is one of those people would have, I'm sure she's on cover of magazines. I wouldn't be surprised if we found out she won Sexiest Woman of the Year at some point.
Probably did.
And yet was walking around here like, let me put a sweater over my butt like a black woman going to the grocery store because I don't want nobody looking at my big old butt. And it's like, oh, Julia, that's not even a big butt. You cover that up for nothing.
For nothing.
We hate to see it. We hate to see it.
Right?
The whites are down bad sometimes.
Ain't nothing more showing off your assets.
All right, let's move on to what was I gonna do? Oh, let's do some guest erase and then we'll get out of here, guys. All right. Oh, cool. It came back up. It's working again. We love to see that.
We love
now that the show's almost over.
Yes. It timed it just right.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right, guess the race time. You know what it is. Gonna go around the globe, find different articles, guess the race of the people involved. Karen plays and then the chat room plays and everybody guesses the race and everybody's pretty much racist. Hopefully the chat room can hear. Oh wait, if this will play, this might be one of those just a music.
Police allegedly proved a convicted flasher in the UK had violated a stalking protection order by putting his atrocious spelling habits to the test.
Now, can y'all hear this in the chat? Karen, I know you're looking at the chat. Can they hear this?
Can y'all hear? Let us know.
The article, because I know sometimes I play shit and it's like if I don't share the audio, y'all won't hear it. So I'll wait a second until we find out for sure.
They say yes.
Okay, I'll finish playing it.
Gary Young, 48, had been ordered to cease all contact with his ex-girlfriend, but when she blocked him on Facebook, he tried to reach her via a different pseudonymous account last August, Kent Online reported. The woman said she immediately recognized Young's writing style, pointing to his spelling of a nearby county as one damning piece of evidence. Instead of spelling the county as Somerset, Young had instead spelled out Somerset. To verify that they had nabbed the correct suspect, police asked Young to spell the county again, and as suspected, he used the same spelling as the Facebook user.
They caught his ass on some Encyclopedia Brown shit.
Yes, they did. Can you spell this for us?
All right, Karen, guess the race. Karen's going with everybody's white. All right, let's check the chat room. See what they believe. Hooked on phonics white.
That's hilarious.
It's funny too because like it's not really proof. There's probably a ton of people that misspell shit, but then it's circumstantial enough. Gary, white, contrary, white, sus-ass, white, Florida, school graduate, white. The correct answer is all you guessed white. You're right. Yeah, you look like you're trying to remember how to spell Somerset right there.
See what happened in Keith's hometown?
Yep. You gotta spell it Somerset, probably. He probably spelled it Summer. But yeah, they caught his ass. Okay. That'll teach him. All right. Enough of that stalking for you. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see. Here's one. Oh, Florida. A monumentally moronic scheme. In a monumentally moronic scheme, a woman admitted that she plotted to submit dog urine that she had collected in an attempt to cheat a court-ordered drug screening.
Don't you think they would know that this is not human urine?
I guess she didn't think that.
Okay.
Jessica Beatty, 42, was subject to random testing as a stipulation of release terms.
They gonna run that test. Like, why is it killers and bits in this piss? Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. This is not people urine.
For possession of drug paraphernalia and driving with a suspended license is what her release terms are for. Beatty, a Clearwater, Florida resident, has a lengthy rap sheet with numerous cocaine convictions and related incarceration terms. Free on her own recognizance following last month's arrest, she had an appointment Thursday to pee in a cup. The test designed to detect the presence of chemical substances or controlled substances. Beatty, it looks like, apparently was concerned that her urine would turn up dirty, which would revoke her bond. So she showed up with a fraudulent urine sample. A defendant's provision of urine is visually monitored by a probation officer, making it difficult to hoodwink investigators. When confronted about the phony sample, she reportedly admitted she had collected the urine from her aunt's dog, which she intended to provide during the testing. The complaint does not indicate the kind of container she used to house the fraudulent sample, nor does it detail how the ex-con actually collected the canine waste, which drug tests can easily differentiate from human waste.
Of course, because they test shit all of the time, and a lot of times I have taken urine tests where they'll have like shit all take down and shit where you can't tinker with stuff. They be like, nope, we're gonna be sure that you actually piss and we want your piss.
Yeah, they're like, congratulations, you're pregnant and it's puppies?
You having 9 of them?
Yeah, she last year launched a cleaning service that she incorporated with her boyfriend and ex-con, whose rap sheet includes convictions for robbery, narcotics, disorderly conduct, obstructing police, and loitering. Man, you call them to clean. Y'all's gonna be cleaning for real. 100% clean down to the fucking floorboards.
All right.
All right, Karen, guess the race.
White.
Karen says white. Let's check the chat.
What was her
room.
name?
Her name was Jessica Beatty.
Yes, white.
All right. Chat room, what y'all say? Probably kissed that dog in the mouth while she collected that pee. White. Kissed dogs in the mouth as well as taking their pee. White. Another Florida school graduate. White. Science avoiding DeSantis voter. Fido White. Jinx Curley. I don't know what that is. Jinx. Okay. Oh, Whitey. The correct answer is white. 2 in a row, everybody. Congratulations. Y'all are super fucking racist, all right?
Ah!
I hope you're proud of yourselves.
What time is it? That's a bitch was why!
I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get
Gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big dive, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
All right, Karen's 2 for 2. Altoona, Pennsylvania. Altoona man is facing charges after allegedly staging a burglary to take his father-in-law's life savings before erratically splurging on vehicles, tools, and trips. Andrew Booker, 29, is facing various charges related to a reported burglary at his home in February 2023. He alleged that someone broke into the home and took various items, including his then father-in-law's safe with his life savings of $2 million inside. Oh, now that screams inside job. Because who would know there's a safe in your house with $2 million?
Who would know?
According to the criminal complaint, police were suspicious of what they saw at the house, including the house key taken from a pot in the back porch being left on the counter. There was also a second safe.
You know, criminal wouldn't have known that. That just broke in.
There was also a second safe that was untouched.
Oh, they knew what nothing in that second safe.
That the victim said had documents and another $1.5 million inside. But no one knew about that money. So basically, he had told this dude about the $2 million safe. He didn't tell him about the $1.5 million safe. So the $1.5 million safe was still in the house. He claimed Booker knew about the money only being in one safe. It was noted that the man was saving money for decades, and a lot of it was older style 100s and 50s before they started changing the design in the 2000s for counterfeit reasons. Through the investigation, first of all, put this shit in the bank. Are you serious? Are you serious? Through the investigation, police said they witnessed numerous new ATVs and vehicles, including a brand new Harley Davidson outside of his residence in the coming months.
What they tell you? Don't be doing flashy shit. Ain't that what they tell you?
It's not
Lay
just
low.
It's not just doing flashy shit. It sounds like it sounds like it was at the home he was living in or something. Andrew Booker, 29, is facing various charges related to a reported burglary at his home in February 2023.
So you living with me?
So it sounds like they live together,
Took my money, I look up and you rolling in with a fucking SUV. Bitch, what my money? What did you do with it?
So either they live together, or this is a typo of some type. Either they live together and his father-in-law keeps it safe in the same house, or he lives with his father-in-law somehow or something, or there's a typo. But it sounds like he was flexing with the money at the place that the father-in-law would definitely see it. Oh my God. Police noted the complaint that they were aware that Booker was unemployed and was going through a divorce when the burglary happened. And then he started popping up with ATVs.
All of a sudden he paying child support on time. Here's the year worth of child support in advance. I got it.
He's getting fucking jet skis and shit. Detectives were later tipped off by someone familiar with Booker and the victim who said he saw the money while at Victor's residence. A search warrant was received and Booker's home was searched, according to a complaint. Witnesses and acquaintances of Booker were questioned or came forward to police saying that ATVs and cars were put into their name since Booker's license was DUI suspended. Detectives were then able to confirm these purchases at places such as 5-Star Power Sports, Roundhouse Harley Davidson, and even the Trianon Bar and Grill in the Wanyata section of Altoona.
The bar and grill is like, now why am I in it?
Also, you spending all this money in Altoona. Everybody know.
Right, that's probably the 500 people in that whole ass town.
This ain't Vegas.
Right.
One witness
you heard Jimmy out here bowling.
One witness claimed that Booker took him and his family to Hershey Park on his dime and gave them a $500 Visa gift card he bought with cash to buy whatever they wanted. Google geofencing later confirmed Booker was at Hershey Park those same days, the witnesses told them.
Of course, you don't film at the Hershey's Park. Hershey Park got you on camera, bitch.
This is another thing that reminds me of Keith Malley, because Hershey's Park is the park he used to go to as a kid. And this is also Pennsylvania. So,
wow, I've never
unofficial
been.
Keith
Right. Shout out to
theme.
Keith.
According to various employees and owners, Booker would purchase things with cash, claiming it was always mostly in older style $100 bills.
People like, is this in circulation?
Like this shit got
the big Benjamin Franklin on it and shit.
Like this shit got Benjamin Franklin with his wooden teeth.
They're
on
like,
it.
sir, why you handing me a $2?
George-
Why you handing me a $2 bill? So they don't make these anymore.
Right. You got George Washington with the wooden slave teeth on it.
Oh no.
And we don't think they make these.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Is this a doubloon? Are you trying to pay me in doubloon,
Right.
sir?
What is this? I cannot take this as payment. We do not
Right.
use a bartering system.
The owner of Triana said Booker would do things like buy a $30 picture, pay with $100 and say keep the change.
Oh shit. Bowling.
The detectives were told at a few businesses that some of the money smelled musty and looked like it came out of someone's pocket after going through a dryer. Further
Yeah, because
investigation.
it's sitting in that safe forever.
Further investigation revealed that Booker used a large chunk of the money to take care of a girl he was seeing, Janelle DeGennaro. Detective said she admitted to knowing the money was stolen and using the money Booker gave her to buy him things. She was allegedly caught on Lowe's security camera paying for things with wise low $100 bills. Detectives were able to find messages between Booker and DeGennaro, confirming her statements with them. They said there was a message about Booker hiding the money in the ground and it got wet, so he had to run it through a friend's dryer, seemingly confirming the old musty smell that witnesses told him about. This is some Raising Arizona bullshit. This is a comedy of errors.
You're gonna be out in the middle of the street.
DeGennaro allegedly gave police footage from her security camera that showed the duo on her porch arguing about the money, only for another clip to show Booker leaving with a black trash bag. Detective said she described the trash bag before that as having a tote full of money inside of it, claiming it sat in her closet for several days. Booker was arrested and released in December 2023 before his ex-wife showed up to the police department with some of the money. She said she was hoping to trick Booker into telling her what the rest was. Oh my God, what is this, Fargo? Everybody got a fucking angle? In total, investigators believe that more than $140,000 was spent from the stolen money. More than $40,000 was allegedly deposited to an account with DeGennaro's name. DeGennaro was later charged for her involvement, use, and knowledge of the stolen money. She has yet to be arraigned. Booker, however, was charged with theft, receiving stolen property, conspiracy, false reports, and tampering with evidence. He's in jail with his bail set at $350,000. All right, Karen, guess the race.
What's his name?
His name is Andrew Booker.
Oh, White.
Karen's going with White for this one. The call was coming from inside the house safe. White.
Not the house safe.
He got a stack of $2 bills. White man with an apparent death wish using Confederate money. White.
Not the Confederate
That's
money.
how you ball in Appalachia. White. Putting shit in niggas' name. Harlem Heat Booker T Black. A part of the red part of PA White shit. The correct answer is White. One person said Black. And that's him. Yeah.
He did that shit.
Yeah.
He looked like he just dug that money out the rain.
Don't he? I mean, he looked like the type that not have a job but spend $100 on a $30 pitcher of beer.
Right.
Motherfucker put $140,000 into the economy and it's all beer.
Oh, beer.
So,
beer and wings.
It's all bullshit. It's beer, ATVs, Sea-Doos, whatever the fuck.
Right.
All right. Let's get to the last thing, sword ratchetness. A man slashed 3 NYPD officers with a machete as they were working to place him under arrest in East Flatbush.
What?
Officers were called to this apartment around 3:20 p.m. for a 40-year-old man acting erratically. Officers spoke to the man's family and were attempting to place him under arrest when he attacked, slashing one of the cops in the right side of the head.
Oh!
As the other officers stepped in to subdue the emotionally disturbed man, one suffered a slash wound to the wrist and the other to the shoulder. Officers were all taken to the Kings County Hospital, where they're expected to recover. Police arrested the slasher at the scene. Charges against him were pending Monday evening. So even the cops ain't safe, y'all.
Wow.
Yeah. So you gotta watch your back out here. People got swords, and if they'll fuck up the cops, you know they're gonna fuck your ass up.
Come on.
All right, y'all. That's it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back with more podcasting at some point. Until next time, bye, everybody. Have a good rest of your night.